Hello there, my name's Carlo and welcome to another After Effects tutorial. Today I'm going to be trying to teach you guys how to create 3D clouds within After Effects. Obviously I've never done a tutorial on this before, so if certain things go wrong, that's life, you know. Tutorials for me have a tendency to go wrong because I don't prepare, but we'll give it a good crack nevertheless. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to create a new composition, keep it 10 seconds long, and then I'm going to click OK. And then the third thing I'm going to do is create a new camera. I'm going to keep it 35mm, keep the settings the same, set the millimeters to pixels, unlock the zoom, and then click OK. Then I'm going to import some clouds, pictures. I mean, you can download any cloud pictures you want off of the internet. It's entirely up to you, whatever suits you. And then I'm just going to highlight and just drag them all into my menu. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the best clouds to start this off. So I want to start with this one, and all I'm going to do is drop it into my comp like so, and then I'm just going to scale it down to size like so, and I want this to become a 3D layer. So I'm going to Z-axis this into space like so, bring it as far back as I can, to about there, and then I'm just going to rescale it to fit my comp window like so. Okay, so that's fine like that. Okay, so I'm going to select another cloud that I want. Pictures of clouds here, so this would do. I'm just going to drop this on top like so, and then what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to make this a 3D layer to about there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to position it to about there, maybe scale it down just a touch. Don't worry if the colors are different, because we will color correct that at the end of the project. Okay, so I'm just going to take my pen tool and I'm just going to mask around my clouds. So I'll have all that and zoom out. We come out of here, join that together. Great. And then so we've got that like that. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to press F on the keyboard, and all I'm going to do is just feather that out. Now don't worry too much if you see the blue, because all we're going to do is just going to bring the feathering down a touch, sort of blend it in with our background cloud. It's about there. Just tidy up sort of the best you can to make the blue sort of go away, and blend it in with your backgrounds. So it's about there. Bring this in about there. Maybe that's about there. And I just want to bring this to about here. Cool. And if you want to undo it, just click that, and then we've got our first cloud sort of blended into our scene, as you can see. You can sort of bring this forward if you want, or back, to give it sort of like a bit more of a 3D sort of feel, but that's absolutely fine. Okay, so now we're going to get another cloud, maybe this one here. I'm going to drop it on top, maybe position it there to about there, and maybe just scale it down just a bit, maybe stick it about there. Get me mask tool, about there, that'll do. It's just basically to give it some sort of a 3D sort of feel. I'm going to feather that one out as well to about sort of there, and then I'm going to sort of bring it all down just so that this blends with the background, like so. As you can see, there was a line there, if you see that. If you just bring it in so you sort of get rid of the line, probably make that to about there. Don't have to sort of worry about the edging too much, that's absolutely fine, because what we're going to do is we're going to colour correct all this after it's sort of done. So you can see we're sort of getting there. Now we can sort of, you know, find another cloud, maybe this baby here, drop it on top, and just sort of scale it down so there's a big old sort of rain cloud there. Maybe stick that sort of up there like that, and just get our pencil and maybe just come around like that, turn that up like that, and then with the same as the others, hit F on the keyboard and just feather that out like so, and then we're just going to position it, oh, sorry about that, sort of somewhere else, maybe about there, and then we're just going to sort of bring that in so we're sort of hiding the lines and the cut-off points of the clouds. Right, so okay, excuse me, so that don't look too bad. Maybe excuse me, sort of play around with how you want your clouds sort of to be laid out. At the top one, maybe just sort of bring that over, sort of about there, like that, to about that position. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get our camera, and we're just going to zoom in to about there, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit P on the keyboard for position, select a keyframe, bring it to the end, and then what we're going to do is to slowly drag back on our keyframe until we get to sort of beginning point like that. Oh, gone too far there. It's alright, we can sort of edit that out anyway. Okay, so you can sort of see what we've done here. So when I sort of render it back now, we have sort of moving clouds. But what you know, what you can do, I'll color correct this in a minute when we render this out. And what you can do, I'll show you how to sort of color correct it and sort of match it all up. But you can sort of get the gist of what we're sort of aiming for here. And what the idea is, you know, we've got a sense that the camera's moving, you know, backwards and panning back where the cameras are, or the camera movements sort of panning backwards. So that's looking pretty cool. So we'll let that render out for the whole frame or for the whole scene, and then we'll just try and color correct this and this to sort of match the rest of our background. See, it don't look too bad either. It's looking quite good. See, this is out, this is out. But what I would do, you know, me personally, I'd put some more clouds into the scene, so it's not just this cloud here that's actually moving. But it's a very, very, very effective effect. I actually use this to make a sort of Harry Potter stroke comp, which I'll bring up in a minute and show you guys how that went. Okay, so that's nearly done. Bang. Okay, so as it's sort of panning back, it sort of looks like we're moving back back in space, but obviously I'd have more moving here, you'd have probably more moving here, but for the sake of the tutorial we're just going to keep it like that. Okay, so let's do some color correction on this. So we're going to select that cloud, and we're simply going to go to our effects, color correction, and we're going to go to our curves, and we're going to just try and sort of sort it out with our curves. Maybe have a bit, turn the blue down, we go about there, maybe sort of bring that to about there, get back the red, bring the red up, maybe sort of bring that down to about there, and then let's go to green, bring the green sort of down, maybe that's about there. Let's go to our alpha, bring maybe our alpha down to about sort of there, maybe that's about there. Okay, so let's click on the large one and let's go to effects, let's go to color correction, and we'll go to curves on that, and what we're going to do is just start playing around with the lighting on this to match it all up. So about there, maybe that about there. Let's go to our red, bring that to about sort of there, bring this to about sort of there, about there. That don't look too bad. And I want to fix this one, effects. Let's go to so I've lost the plot, color correction, curves, and let's bring that up to about there, and then we're gonna sort of green out on that about there, and maybe drop this sort of down about there. Let's go to red. All this entails is just color correct and then just playing around with your colouring, really. But if you see something sort of don't work, the idea is just to play around with it, really, play around with the colours until you get it perfect. So if we sort of zoom out, that sort of don't look right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that out of the scene. And when we sort of play it, it's quite a nice sort of 3D moving cloud effects. But what we can do is we can get this one, and what we can do is we can hit P on the keyboard, create a position, go to about there, and what we do is make this a 3D layer, and we can sort of scale it to about there. Okay, that looks okay. So when we sort of move, we've got that sort of cloud moving as well. So we bring that there. As you can see, we'll have the second cloud sort of coming into position just about there. Okay, that don't look too bad actually. That looks quite good. So you know, playing around with these settings, especially if you're sort of, let me just make a new comp, and what I'll do is I'll just import a footage that I did. this was a joke thing for work. I'll just import that. Oh, not responding. Okay. Don't know why that happened. That's a bit disturbing, but hey ho. So I'll drop that into my comm, and then when I sort of play this in slow-mo, as you can see, these are the sort of things you can actually do with moving clouds. So it's all good fun. This one's a little bit more in depth because if you look carefully, I've got some flashing, I've got some lighting in there, some flashing lighting. If I just bring this and fill up the comp with that. We got some, if I go forward, let me just render this out, you'll be able to see when it's rendered out that I've got some flashing lighting in the background and stuff like that, so it does look pretty cool. As you can see the flash there. Once it's rendered out, you'll be able to see it sort of properly as it's done. So say for instance, I'll show in a second how you would add your credits, but obviously you'd set your camera up for your credits and stuff like that, but that's quite easy to do anyway. So if you're at the stage of making clouds and stuff like that, then you should be able to do 3D moving text, no problems at all. If you do want to see a tutorial of me making this Harry Potter scene in full, then just give this video a thumbs up and request it, and I will do it for you, no problems. And it should be good fun to do it as well. Okay, so that's just finally rendering out. So let that finish rendering. Might not need to. Okay, so as you can see, very smooth. We'll have lightning in the background. It sort of like moves forward into 3D space. So that's the sort of thing you can do with your 3D clouds, really. Obviously, you'll color correct it and color the clouds to be fit your scene. But yeah, don't look too bad, as you can see. Not bad for 2 seconds. You can see the clouds are moving. We'll have a little cloud coming down here moving, and it don't look too bad at all. Normally I would probably add, in a sense, as you can see, we've got the background here and we've got 2 clouds here. No, yeah, we took that one away, didn't we? So we got 2 including the background. Normally in this scene I would probably add the best part of 12 cloud pictures for 3D movement, just to give it that sort of 3D sort of look, because obviously there's this one cloud there, so plus the little one that I put in the corner, but obviously the more clouds you have, so what I would do is, as this cloud goes, you'll have another cloud coming in as well, and clouds coming over the top here, just over this scene as well, just to give it that better sort of 3D sort of look. But that's it really. That is how you create 3D clouds within After Effects. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you as usual in the next video. Take care guys, bye.